Yes. Good night, everybody. Yes. Hello. I'm starting again. Good night. Good evening, I think, right? Okay. This talk will be about React Native Web and some kind of workspaces in monorepo. Will be a little bit the same from the former talk, but I will try to be different. Let's start. Who am I? My name is Ronaldo. I came from Brazil. I'm so proud and happy to be here today because less than 2 years ago I wasn't able to speak English or speak any kind of word. When I came to Netherlands, it was really hard to work with me because people need to text me instead to talk and say, "Oh, do you want to lunch? What? Do you want to lunch? What? Oh, never mind." It's exactly this. This is my GitHub. I'm so proud about GitHub. I really like this platform. Now we have actions. The second one is my Twitter. Is not so good. Then, yes. Then my personal email. If you want, someone have some question or anything, can email me. In the previous slide, we see this symbol is TomTom. This the company as I'm working from. It's a really nice company, and if someone wants to send a CV, will be welcome. I'm so proud to have my coworkers here today, these beautiful guys, and this Lucas. Okay. Oh, you lost my GIF. Okay. There is no GIF, just a joke. Okay. This is our tonight roadmap. The first will be set up in Workspace. I will try to skip a little bit because my colleague explained so well. And about dependencies, to create our first components, I will try to run on React Native, run on web browser, and run on desktop with Electron. And I will try to show some nice strategies and how nice can be to split your project. Everybody will have your own strategy for this, but I will try. Okay. Before we begin, there is a really important rule. There is no silver bullet. What I want to mean, what I will say today cannot be the real true. And everybody have your own experience and your concepts, and you just need to keep in to think about. Okay. Someone remember the principal say about React? The principal dicta phrase about React? Yes, come on again. Learn once later. Okay, but nowadays it's not like this. I think it's easier than you think, I think. Yes, and try to make more powerful experiments. Let me try to explain a little bit about the scenario. Nowadays, we create smart apps for try to solve real-world problems and new-world problems. And we have a lot of startups and companies adopting React to try to fix it. Why React? Because React can be adaptive for different kind of business logics, and you have different kinds of components, or any company can adopt React because it's JavaScript, is powerful, it's easier, it's really easier to understand. If you don't try to learn how to use the life cycles the better way. Yes. Single component responsibilities. We try to make the logic of the components inside each component. You have your provider, or you have your list of users, or you have our QDogs application. You try to keep the responsibility together. And this React and React Native. But try to use it in any place. We have a React Native web library. This library is not created by me. This library is created by Nicholas. He was ex-Twitter engineer who makes React Native. The idea for this library is to create a Twitter PWA, as to try to make exactly the same code from React Native Twitter app to work on browser, and that doesn't more work. The idea about React Native Web is really to try create universal components, the real universal components. The idea about it is like when you write a view on React Native, will be transpiled for div on web, or keeps view on React Native or in another platform. It's exactly the same API, exactly the same. I would like to talk a little bit in the fast about Yarn workspaces. The important thing is to keep private, because Workspace only works with private workspace. And you have workspace package, and you can define all your packages inside your workspace. And it's like a web package, mobile package, shared components. And I will, you need to set up Babel, set up Jest, set up a Webpack. Okay, just workspace commands. Workspace is still experimental, and we have to yarn config set workspace experimental to true, this flag, to try to run. This yarn workspace works a little bit similar to Lerna to create mono packages. We have a warning workspace run to link everything inside. Warning workspace list, you will have a detailed about your workspace, and inside dependencies inside your workspace. And to add a new package, like we have Yarn workspace, and your workspace name, add the name of the package. In this case, relay. And we can run the packages inside the workspaces like Yarn workspace boilerplate Y, run storybook. Dependencies. This most important thing here is packages and dependencies need to be the same for all the packages. I had a very bad experience about it, because to work with React Native and the React and the TypeScript and install some other packages, and to try to keep exactly the same dependencies and exactly the same version of React for all. Everybody really like to work with the most recent version, but you need to calm down. It's real true. And I had a very bad experience with this. I think these guys too. Yes. It's easy to start. You add React DOM, and React Native Web. React Native Web gets your React Native component and use virtual DOM from React DOM to convert for HTML strings. Okay, let's try to connect the dots with your first component. I don't know if the best approach will be show a little bit of code. Okay. Okay. This idea, we have our initial package JSON, and you have defined our workspace. We have a special commands to run inside each workspace, as I showed before. For React Native, we need to set no hoist. This no hoist means instead to install for all the package, React Native will be installed only for real mobile package. Oops. Missed by this. On React Native, it's easier because it's exactly the same API. We don't have much things to configure, just workspace. I told you the workspace and the no hoist about packages. We have a custom script to run inside the workspace, like Yarn workspace, mobile, run iOS, start iOS. Is this exactly the same thing for web, but here it starts to be interesting. We have inside our Babel will transpile your code. Just get your simple syntax to convert for other syntax. We create like alias. Instead to call React Native Web, we will convert to React Native. Try to show one code. Web. Here we have our Babel. Next configs. Oh, okay, I will run on the web. The idea about I choose Next.js because it's a little bit easier to show. You need to create a pages folder and just throw inside. I throw this page home and I call home screen from boilerplate UI. Boilerplate UI we have. Oops. Yes, it's exactly the initial screen from React Native. React Native platform style sheet text view from React Native. I sent this view to our shared styles UI folder, and I created a small component too. It's called typography. Exactly the same thing. I get style sheet and text from React Native, and just render this. Let me show my. Oops. It's a little bit hard to. Okay. This is our main screen on localhost running. To run is just the simple. Oops. To run, just the simple command to run. Let me show again. We run warning web dev. It is called the workspace boilerplate web /dev, and we run on boilerplate. We have here, and about the typography component, it's here. Oops. Oops. Never mind. Okay. Now I will try to run on Electron. The Electron, anyone don't know Electron? Okay, Electron is a wrapper about React to try to run on desktop your React components. And you can create desktop applications with exactly the same code and the same API from React. The idea here is just to call our next folder and next scripts. Let me try to run here. Yarn Electron start. Voila. We have a desktop application running our code. If I change this, blah, 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 welcome to React Native Meetup. Welcome to React Native Meetup on desktop as well. And I think on browser should to live reload, but I don't know. Okay, Electron with Next.js. The navigation solution, our modern applications need to navigate because you can't keep with exactly the same screen all the time. And we have a really good documentation inside React Navigation, how to run on web to web support. It's just wrapper your navigation stack and create a browser app, and you get exactly the same. Oops, spoiler. Oops. Exactly the same. You get your navigator and create browser app, and it will render on web. Okay, navigation. For TypeScript as well, works exactly the same way. We have a shared workspaces and TypeScript for each workspace. We can share your base config. Let me show the entry point. On our workspace, we have a TS config, and you can create our references like path web or path UI to run our compile. Strategies. It's really hard to pronounce this word. Strategies. Strategy to organize your project. My idea is the core business logic, and you can create a workspace, my awesome project /core inside this package, and share our hooks and some kind of business rule, helpers or logotypes or some things like this. Our network folder, and you can use our API, XML or GraphQL or connectors or state machine maybe, like Redux or Mobex. UI for components, theme, high-level screens, storybook. NGX to show our configurations about NGX. Our serverless or Lambda functions. We can share in the same workspace. I have a small example here. I have package, I have core, desktop, GraphQL, mobile with our React Native project, NGX with our Docker file, server, UI with storybook, and I can test in my storybook my React Native components and the web version. All inside the same package, really small. Who are using? We have a lot of users. React Native have become so popular on these days. The principal using is Twitter with your PWA, and you open the Twitter on browser from your phone. We have a really popular now is called DevHub. It's a package creates 95% of sharing code between all the packages. Limitations. There is no much limitations. Only limitations happen when you have no equivalent API to web. It's like camera. You cannot open the camera by web browser or camera raw. And the device info, you cannot retrieve the device info information, but you can retrieve the information from your browser or agent, like on UI, typography. It's really hard to see. A component, typography, yes. In this case, I don't know where I put it. Oh yes, here. Oh no. Never mind. Finally, now you can write once and use everywhere, really everywhere. The next question is, should I use React Native Web on my next project? For me, I don't know. And this is retroactive question. I think you need to think by yourself. I'm using by myself in my personal projects because the most part of the time we need to create 6 kinds of different applications, and you have only one developer. Or for startups case, I believe it can grow a lot. And I see was really weird my presentation, but questions.